Australians, massive down the hatch there. Oh, that's a monster nosedive. Rudder out of the water there. Bang. Whoa. And gone. And that is a massive, massive stop. 33 knots to stop in about half a boat length.
That is a car crash.
Yep, the old goggle peeler. That'll get you.
They may be outmaneuvered Team Australia, but they have certainly gone in there and delivered a result. And good on them too. And do Team Australia and get the win in the final race of the semi-finals.
Hats off to the young Aussie team.
They didn't disappoint, did they? The best young sailors on the planet.
Yes, the Aussie team made it to the semis of the first Youth America's Cup, and as Italy and Great Britain fight it out to challenge Team New Zealand for the old mug, the women's event hits the waters off Barcelona for the very first time, and we're joined by part of that history-making team, Lisa Darmanin. Hello and welcome. It's a lot to unpack there, obviously. Are you punchy, excited, you ready to go?
Yeah, just watching that package back, my heartbeat started going up because it's pretty exhilarating out there, but it'll be our turn in a couple of days. And the youth team did an amazing job. They were very spectacular as well. Good footage for everyone to chuckle at. So I can't wait to get out there racing on those boats, but also for the first ever Women's America's Cup. Yeah, because you did help out and worked with the youth team coming through this training process. You said they did hit a hole quite literally. I think we've got some great footage of what happens. These boats travel so quickly, so it's almost like a car accident when they hit the water, nosedive, as you can see here. Yeah, I mean, I think that is the most exciting thing you're going to see. They were lining up for a perfect start and they had a little bit too much confidence. They were doing quite well and yeah, we were watching thinking, oh, what are they doing? And then it all unravelled, big smash down, as you can see. And then the thing is, the driver, he goes for his goggles and he lets go of the wheel. We're like, who's driving the car right now, mate? Like, focus on the job. Goggles are gone. But I think the cool thing is, like, you know, with those under 24-year-olds, they've got a lot of confidence, that's for sure. We can definitely learn from them what to do and what not to do.
Lisa, you've got one more training day to come. What have the conditions been like and what are you expecting come race day?
We've had a little bit of everything. The first day we had training was super light, pretty hard to get on the foils. The next day was top end, basically exceeding our wind limits. We only got about 20 minutes sailing in before they cancelled it. But I think us and the Swedish team were the only ones ripping around. And the Swedish team have been sailing since November last year. So we're pretty happy to get that sailing day in. And then yesterday we got about 2.5 hours in moderate conditions. And it was amazing. We were chucking in the manoeuvres, getting used to being able to be in a race course. We did one practice start. And then tomorrow we have a full practice day of racing. And we get racing on Sunday. The conditions look moderate, not too windy, not too wavy. So that'll be good for us. But yeah, we just can't wait to get out there racing. I think we don't really know what to expect. It's really unlike any other campaign we've done. Normally you train for 4 years for an Olympics or a couple of years for America's Cup, but we've had a total of, I think, 5 hours sailing in our invited pool versus some of the teams in the other pool that have been training for a year or 2 years. So we don't really know what to expect, but by the training days, we're going pretty well. Just got to put a few more things together to pull it off. And
that, Lisa, in terms of your training, so you're out on the water, like you're getting a taste of it, but there's a lot of simulator training, like in boats. Has it got based on that dive we just saw and the goggles come on, is there a tsunami switch on that just to prepare you in any way?
The simulator's been a pretty good tool, but I tell you what, if you capsize, all you do is you just click reset and you're good to go again. You don't get flooded, you don't break your wind gear. So a little less repercussions in the simulator. But yeah, we've done hundreds and hundreds of hours in that simulator. But it's so much nicer to be out on the water. I'm the trimmer, so I trim the sails and manage the power. And in the simulator, you don't feel that acceleration, you don't get that G-force, and it's really hard to kind of get that interaction with the boat. So to be out on the water and know that all our skills from the simulator are translating onto the water is pretty cool. But yeah, there's nothing like ripping around at 45 knots on an AC-40.
Lisa, it's such a rich part of Australia's history, the America's Cup. Back in 1983, it's actually an Australian folklore. Prime Minister at the time, Bob Hawke, said anybody who makes an employee show up to work today is a bum. If you can create history and win the first ever Women's America's Cup, what would you like to see Anthony Albanese do?
I think exactly the same. I mean, everyone wants a day off, no pressure. Obviously, we want to win, but no pressure for all the Aussies to have a day off work. So we'll have him on speed dial, ready to go, being like, "Hey, mate, let's go."
Lisa, obviously, there's a physical preparation, and but what about the mental side of it? Is that just as important?
I mean, actually, the interesting thing about these AC40s is it's actually not as physical. I mean, there's a lot of G-forces. You're kind of getting thrown around. But essentially, it's like mental fatigue. We got off the water from about 3 hours yesterday, and we were all just cooked trying to put a sentence together because you're just so focused on processing things that are coming at you. You're going so fast, so you're looking at the wind ahead, you're looking at other boats, but then we have all these data screens that are providing inputs to us to be able to trim the sails, fly the boat at the right altitude. You're trying to read the waves and the wind. So we're all pretty mentally cooked yesterday, but we're also in a learning phase, which means that you're just trying to process so much, think so much. So we're kind of happy we got a day off today. We can process all of that. And then go into a race day practice tomorrow, which will be another level up on what we've done so far.
In terms of your learnings, have you thought about what it'd be like to be struck by lightning? Because we have seen a bit of lightning action on that course. This is leading up to the Louis Vuitton. I think it's at New Zealand, it might be Italy. But look at that. It's amazing, yeah?
That's close.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. I definitely would not want to be struck by lightning on these boats. It's full carbon fibre, all electronics. You just absolutely shatter the boat, let alone what you do to him. So, you know, those guys were so lucky, and I think there were a few words said on some of the boats. I think Nathan Atteridge, an Aussie on the Kiwi boat, was just like, let's go to the super yachts. It'll strike them before us. So he was heading that way when that happened.
And Lisa, is there a secret weapon? Is there a wing keel? Is there something special up your sleeve?
Well, the cool thing about these AC40s is they're actually one design, which means they're identical boats. So we've got 6 teams in each pool, and all the boats are identical, which means that it comes down to the sailing skills. So unlike the Cup, which is this technology race, also a bit of a money race as well, we've got identical boats. So it's a good way to be able to upskill us, being like, the boats are all the same, just sail them like a sailboat, just rip it and rip it.
Do exactly that. We'll be watching. Thanks so much for joining us, and go well.
Thank you guys so much. We hope to fly that boxing kangaroo flag pretty proudly.
Yeah, she's a superstar. And you can, of course, catch all of the action from this year's America's Cup live and exclusive on Fox Sports with Lisa and the Ando Australian team challenging for the Women's America's Cup on Sunday. Racing beginning at 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Coming up, our Champ of the Week. Stick around. Well done.